All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am Christ, I am disciple. You're watching my channel. Hope you guys are having a good day. This is a live stream concerning Joker. So the Academy Awards happened over this weekend, and Joker, which had 11 2 Best Actor and Best Score. And congratulations to uh, Joaquin Phoenix, as well as Hilder. Can't pronounce the last name. It's just very, I don't know how to pronounce it, so I will not try and mess it up. But Hilder and Joaquin, or Joaquin, they won Best Actor and Best Musical Score, respectively. Congratulations to them. I feel like this is a great thing with respect to comic book movies. Okay, now the interesting thing about this is now Warner Brothers has had a number of Academy Award winning comic book movie films, mostly associated with Batman, but of course, The Dark Knight, Heath Ledger won Best Actor, Lead Actor, Academy Award for that, an Oscar for that. And now Joaquin Phoenix, he has also won Best Actor, but on top of that, they also won Best Musical Score. And again, I cannot emphasize enough how Warner Brothers needs to leave the directors to do their visions, no matter what they feel should be the direction. By you just messing with the director's vision, you don't get the quality of product that you should get. There is no reason why Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, the director's cut of that, the Ultimate Edition, shouldn't have been in the runnings for this sort of thing. Because, again, the studio decided to make demands on the director to shorten up the movie. Now, the movie would have ended up being rated R anyway, but as you can see, Joker's rated R, and it's won two, not one now, two Academy Awards. All right? And, you know, that should have been Batman v Superman. Justice League should have been in the runnings for an Academy Award. And the reason being that I'm saying, talking about Zack Snyder, you know, being in a position to be, okay, whatever you think. But in my opinion, he does Academy Award winning material. All right? Be that as it may, Wonder Woman was a movie that did not make it to the Academy Awards, but was a sensational movie. Okay, Black Panther somehow made it to the Academy Awards and won an Academy Award. It's a politics. It's Hollywood politics. There's nothing we can do about that. But when we look at the impact Wonder Woman has made, the impact that Batman v Superman has made, because trust me, Todd Phillips coming up with the idea to do this Joker movie, which is outside of the DCEU, what allowed him to do so, prevalent these days, was again Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder started, he really wanted a rated R Watchmen movie. I think that was the first rated R movie he wanted to do. It ended up being rated R in the DVD display. And then again, Batman v Superman turned out to be rated R for violence, not necessarily for anything F-bomb and violence. And he didn't want it to be, but they had it so. And PG-13 movies used to have F-bombs in them. But now, with this PC correct world we live in, we're getting more movies now that don't bring forth realism, especially comic book movies. So it's very refreshing that Joker came in with a layered sort of movie. Now, they said it wasn't so much to the comics, but we all know backlash, like how Zack Snyder got backlash for his Batman v Superman. You can tell that directors make a conscientious effort, even though they're following the blueprint of what Zack Snyder was kind of doing, to kind of stay away from, you know, BVS and that kind of thing. But I like that James Gunn and also his family, his cousins and his brothers, they embraced that. You know, Man of Steel was a controversial film. Batman v Superman was a controversial film. Todd Phillips' Joker is a controversial film. All right, all three films are grounded, serious films in a world in which everything's kind of like our world, except for one or two aspects, like for instance, the superpowers of Superman. You know, the superpowers of the young man in Brightburn. You know, the superpower. Well, in Joker, there was no superpowers at all. It's just a grounded reality. All of this just to tell you guys that is a strong message being sent to Warner Brothers, both by the critical society and Hollywood. They recognize and accept comic book movies which have or take themselves seriously enough to convey a much more mature message to the audience. Batman 1989, a lot of people said, you know, that movie was fun and kooky and jokey. Let me let you guys know. Back in 1989, when RoboCop came out, these movies were seen as edgy and serious. Edgy and serious. The reason being, okay, great example is Bad Boys Forever that just came out. There are two comedians that did this movie, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. Will Smith, of course, having taken on a much more serious acting career. But what you must understand is, you will listen to Will Smith very carefully when he says Martin Lawrence knows how to pull off the funny and still stay grounded in the dangers of the reality that they're facing. He brings a certain realism. Let me explain to you why I personally, as a viewer of movies, and I don't go to a lot of movies, okay? But as a viewer of movies, why I am disinterested in certain kinds of movies. One, I do not like when there is no grounding to realism or minimal grounding to realism. So for example, I'm going to call a movie's name. You guys don't get mad at me. Thor Ragnarok just did not appeal to me on any level. I did not enjoy it at all. Okay? I'm pretty sure Shazam will not appeal to me. Aquaman will not appeal to me. The only thing that appealed to me in Aquaman was that rooftop scene. Loved it because it was grounded in realism, and then there was this exceptionalism, this super thing about it. You know, these guys going through walls like if they were non-existent that just blew. I don't expect the Harley Quinn movie to appeal to me either, even though I'm pretty sure it's probably a hell of a movie, because it's not, the characters don't feel, for me, will not feel grounded in a reality. Maybe they are, I don't know. But I just, from what the ads and stuff that I see, it will not appeal to me. These movies will never win an Academy Award. They just never will. Okay? Now, Wonder Woman was close enough, I would thought, to be an Academy Award winning movie, because the only thing that was super in the whole thing was Wonder Woman. And even then, they didn't bring it out fully. Now, you could say, well, Birds of Prey, there's no superheroes in there. There's no superpowers. Yes, but they're not behaving like that. The movie is telling jokes while bombs are blowing up. And of course, Harley Quinn is a crazy character. But a lot of stuff that goes on with Harley Quinn goes on in their head. So I don't know what they did with the Harley Quinn movie. I don't know how, but this Harley Quinn movie should show us the kookiness of Harley Quinn's mind, and not so much the reality of the situation doesn't bend to her. In other words, the reality is not supposed to change. The reality should be grounded. But how she visualizes reality and how her kooky mind behaves, her crazy mind, is supposed to be seen. So she has dreams. She has crazy thoughts that run through her head for certain scenarios. The scenario is different. They show you the scenario maybe after or before, and then they show you her version of the scenario. I don't know if it's in the movie or not, but they have to pull up the crazy. If they pull up the crazy, then Harley Quinn is, but it's not crazy reality. It's crazy perception of reality. Okay? Ferguson, she kills someone, and Harley Quinn kills people. She kills someone, okay? But in her kooky head, her reality, she just got rid of the person. They come back, okay? She's fucking crazy like that, okay? So that's the Harley Quinn. Anyway, whatever. So back to what we were talking about. That's how I perceive Harley Quinn, okay? Harley Quinn is vicious. She's deadly. She's savage, and she's very instinctive. She just does things on a whim, sort of like, kind of like Joker. Well, on steroids. Now, back to Joker. So what I'm saying is that's my appreciation. I do like comedies. I watched what was the comedy with Kevin Hart and The Rock. I watched two comedies with Kevin Hart and The Rock. I remember one was I can't remember the names of the movies right now. Right? Memorable flicks. No, they're not memorable flicks. They're flicks that I enjoyed. I laughed. They had a point to it. I enjoyed it. Okay? But at the end of the day, I don't expect all comic book movies to be like that. You know? And so, why Shazam did not appeal to me? Because, let me put it this way. Shazam absolutely is a very powerful character. Yes, he's kind of infantile and silly. Not to knock the actor who played Shazam, but the way how he conveyed Shazam felt forced. When you look at the kid, he's more mellow than the adult. Me, that's kind of, I didn't enjoy it. That's the thing. I felt like the actor who was playing Shazam was trying to force himself to be a kid more than just allowing it to organically happen and him be a kid. When Tom Hanks played Big, Tom Hanks wasn't trying to force himself to, he tapped into his childhood experience. So there wasn't extreme reactions, because if you look at the kid who was playing Billy, he don't have extreme reactions. But the man who was playing Billy, all right, Zachary Levy, he was over exaggerating, especially he's overacting what this kid would be. And I don't think I want to see this. And then I saw snippets of it, and I really realized, yeah, I really didn't want to see that. You know, it confirmed it. I knew something, and a lot of the, I think a lot of the what do you call it? The advertising can either amp you up and pump you up to see a movie or not. Okay. When I saw Wonder Woman, I wasn't interested in Wonder Woman until I saw her blocking that fucking mortar stuff with the shield. She just knocked the thing down, and then she was just like that, and she was just blocking bullets. I was like, that's Wonder Woman. I think I need to see the shit movie. And that got my attention. And I knew it wasn't really going to be that much of an action-packed movie, but man, goodness, that got my attention. You know, I saw her, all the other action scenes and all that other stuff was cool. It was when she knocked the mortar down, and it's how they did it. They did it, you know, they were building up to it, and you see her walking up there with the suit and everything in slow-mo. And then you see her in action, and you're like, whoa! And that was it, okay? That was after Comic-Con. It was during Comic-Con. After that, I was like, yeah, I'm going to see that movie. And there's ways in advertising to get people to go see things. I'm going to kill you. I'm just going to hurt. This scene that David Ayer had, then they fucked it up and they brought something else, okay? But the scene that David Ayer did, and by the way, Suicide Squad, okay, so let me just say, I am also a supporter of release the David Ayer cut. I want to see that cut. It's a little bit darker. It's got more meat on it. Parademons, not these funny looking eye things. And Steppenwolf was supposed to be at some point reflected in that movie. And Enchantress was actually under a spell, the anti-fucking life equation, and she was being controlled by Steppenwolf from Darkseid. That was what the movie was really supposed to be about. It just put so much more dimension to the movie. And they fucked up David Ayer's movie. Warner Brothers just fucked it up really bad. Joker was supposed to have more role in the movie. It was supposed to be, Harley Quinn was supposed to break up with Joker in the fucking movie. So there's a lot of stuff that was just edited out, and you got bare bones kind of shit. And you could feel though the reality and the groundedness of the movie because the actors kept on acting very, very well. You could tell that they were trained, and like David Ayer had done his Jedi mind tricks on them in the movie. So it was really supposed to be extreme, but they cut out a lot of the Joker scenes. They cut out fucking Warner Brothers just fucked up the movie, okay? Because it was supposed to be a lot more darker, still be gonna be funny. I am supporting that cut of David Ayer's movie. I will always support the vision's direction for a movie if Warner Brothers did not give the division or whoever studio, okay? When Disney wanted to drop James Gunn because of some statement that somebody said about him, I was a proponent of making sure that James Gunn got back his job, and he got back his job, okay? You can't be doing this to directors, okay? And then Warner Brothers is a director-driven studio, they say. Look what you did. You gave Todd Phillips had to fight for it, though. He fought for it, right? Because Walter Hamada, just like myself, was like, why are we doing a Joker movie, right? But Todd Phillips, he fought for it, and somebody fought with him, and he was able to produce this beautiful piece of work, this masterpiece called Joker, okay? Christopher Nolan fought. I said, don't put your grimy paws on Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. That's why Man of Steel is a masterpiece of filmmaking to this day, okay? What went in the theaters didn't have to be redone. We didn't need no director's cut. We didn't need none of that shit, okay? Completely with Justice League. And they fucked David Ayer over, okay? Because they don't want no dark movies. Oh, people don't want dark movies, okay? Well, if people don't want dark movies, what is Joker doing busting a billion bucks? If people don't want dark movies, why did the Dark Knight trilogy do so well? That's bullshit. People want movies, but they don't want movies with studio interference. They want organic movies that we can feel the director's vision in. I don't understand these studios. Why don't they just let the directors do what they want to do? Live and die by you hired the fucking director, then let him do what they want to do. That's all I'm saying. Okay? So that's what I gotta say about that. Now, as to you guys who are on my channel, if you like the content on my channel, then you can subscribe to my channel, share my channel with other people as well. This is a live stream, so you can comment on the live stream if you so believe. I see that somebody liked my live stream and somebody popped in and popped out, or probably they're still there. But at the end of the day, my point is, you can have funny movies. The MCU has a lot of funny movies, okay? I don't really like the MCU. I did like Black Panther. I didn't like it at the beginning. I thought this is bullshit. And then as the story started to unravel, I was like, okay, I can dig it. There's some depth in this, Do I think it is better than Wonder Woman? Hell no. It wasn't better than Wonder Woman. I know this for a fact, okay? It's a bit of propaganda. It is propagating the base kind of propagation of bullshit, okay? And I'm telling you why. Rwanda was working. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So, this should be a strong message to Warner Bros. Now, I don't know how Birds of Prey will turn out in terms of box office. I hope it does well. But let me say this. I believe, I don't know what will happen. I believe that regardless of how the box office turns out, I hope Warner Brothers retro checks themselves and starts correcting for the errors. The error that they made with Suicide Squad and the error that they made with Justice League. They need to correct those errors. All right. They never apologized. They never put out a statement to the fans. They never showed that they wanted to take steps and measures, at least officially, that is, to rectify the situation with either Justice League or they never did. Okay? They need to make a statement on it first. 2, the next thing they need to do, all right, is honor the fans by releasing both versions of those movies to the fans. Let them see it. Now, here's the thing. There will be a backlash. The fans will behave angry and they will be irritated. But guess what, Warner Brothers? They'll be willing to forgive you because you made a step in the right direction. And they'll also be willing to watch your movies even if they're crap. They'll watch them. They'll say, okay, I wasn't really interested in this movie, but I went and watched it. And they may give a review on it to give you some feedback so you know how they feel about it. But the way how Warner Brothers is approaching these movies is just ticking off certain members of the fan base. I don't know how big that members of the fan base is, but it's ticking them off because you didn't apologize. You had nothing. The president before Tommy Emmerich, I think it was Silverman, at least he apologized for, was it Toby Emmerich? Apologized for Justice League. And he's saying you're trying to get a movie that please all fans, okay? You got to understand people, all right? You got to understand. Most of the fans out here, okay? Oh, let me say it this way. Aquaman got so much support, not because, you know, you only got from Yes fans. You got from fans who were supporters of seeing the Snyder Cut release of Justice League. They threw their support behind that Aquaman movie. And it was a united support, okay? Now, when you minus those fans, you get a Shazam kind of showing. You know, it did well. Listen, man, you know Warner Brothers knew that movie was for the family. That was for people and their wives and their kids to come out. And if families came out, that movie was breaking $1 billion easy. Easy money. And here's the funny thing about it. Joker, which is not a family-based movie, broke $1 billion. What it's telling you is your fan base is speaking, okay? They're telling you what it is. They're not just into blind allegiance. They actually have preferences for certain kinds of movies. And you're going in a direction where you think you're going to cap MCU fans and you're going to cap different people from different walks of life to watch your movies. And you're going to be miserably mistaken when you realize that the returns are not coming in the way you thought it would come, because you decided to be hard-headed and not listen to the fans who were telling you, the true fans who were telling you what you needed to do. So that's all I got to say about that. All right. The fans have been asking for the Snyder Cut to be released. And if they pay attention, and then we're going to ask for the Ayer cut too. We wanted the both cuts of both movies. Y'all going to be out of business when it comes to the comic book industry if you keep that shit up. Okay, you're going to be out of it. You will see. That's all I got to say about that. I ain't going to say no more because I don't like being negative. I want Warner Bros. To do the right thing. All right? It was better if you had released the Snyder Cut within those 2 years because the fans are forgiving. And yeah, some of them wouldn't have watched your movies, but I would have gone and watched your movies. Even though it don't pique me because you showed integrity. You showed good faith. You showed good faith to the fans. You're not just a business that says it's director driven. You want to show good faith for the directors. You back the directors. You don't bail out on a fucking director. You don't just change course on a director. No, you actually back the directors. You said you was director-driven studio. Well, show us that. Everybody else in the world is going the director-driven way. Okay, Sony is killing it right now. Sony say, oh, Warner Brothers dropped the ball. We're going to run with that shit. And they running with it. Okay? And they did a fantastic animated movie in Spider-Man Into the Director on Venom. Okay? Spider-Man, whatever the other Spider-Man, they backed hit that and it did exceedingly well. And they're expanding their universe now with Morbius. Right? We got Venom in there. Mention of Venom, and we got mention of Spider-Man. And we see the villain from the movie before the last in Morbius. They are building their little universe really cool, and I'm glad for them. Meanwhile, Warner Brothers is fucking up their universe. Y'all decided to fragment your universe and listen to everybody else, you stupid assholes. You're the idiots. They want you to break up your universe so you wouldn't be competition for them, the MCU. Meanwhile, in Transformers, Bumblebee is part of the Transformers universe, and they building standalone films so that they can bring back their universe together and build something bigger. Everybody else is trying to push for a universe except for fucking Warner Brothers. Y'all just stupid. Y'all have no vision. Fucking it up royally. So we got some vigilant ass people in Warner Brothers. I was hoping Walter Hamada would understand. He trying to push New Line Cinema. And I'm like, dude, you're in Warner Brothers now. All right, you know the people from New Line Cinema. That's cool. But you're in Warner Brothers now. All right? Don't just use Zack Snyder's name, Walter Hamada. Use your brain and make sure his visions came out. And the fans will follow you. They're loyal. They will follow you. Whatever direction you want to go. Of course, they're not going to watch hee-hee-ha-ha movies all day. So if you could keep on producing hee-hee-ha-ha movies and CW like low budget bullshit, we're not going to watch it. But if you keep on pushing stuff that is grounded and something that is good, a lot of us are going to watch it because you have a certain kind of fan base. You have to understand your fucking fan base. The people who was moaning and groaning, oh, this is not my Superman. Guess what? They were the minority. They were not the majority of us. You saw, we got 200 and something thousand signatures for people who wanted to release the Snyder Cut. 200,000 something. Right now on Twitter, there's like 40 something thousand people in the Release the Snyder Cut page. Twitter. Okay, there's a lot of us out here from all over the fucking world. And this is just the vocal ones of us. There's other of us who want to see it, but they're not vocal. They're not coming out the shadows. We're the vocal ones. Now, when you look at the Zack Snyder detractors or the people who are detractors for these comic book movies in the DCEU, they don't even equal 1,000 people. But you've been listening to these fuckers. You have to pay attention to the people who are the majority. You are not doing that. Hopefully, your Birds of Prey movie does well. Hopefully. Because I am not against any movie doing well in the cinema. But my thing is, you have to, Warner Brothers, and this is just a simple suggestion, but you have to rectify your mistakes. And you cannot rectify your mistakes by ignoring them and doing as if they never existed. Because you'll keep on going down the same road, making the same mistakes, and you will destroy your universe. You're in the process of completely destroying it and completely destroying your credibility for comic book movies because you're producing generic shit. You're trying to play safety, and you can't play it safe. Even Wonder Woman was played safe. So you have to decide what it is you're doing. Joker was an edgy movie. It was controversial. That's the way how these things go. You are a studio that allows directors to do what they're supposed to do. And I'm not saying that James Wan didn't get to do what he wanted to do. I'm not saying that Derek Sandberg didn't get to do what he wanted to do, even though I doubt it. Derek Sandberg is a very edgy dude. And I also think James Wan was going for a much more edgy finish. And from what James Wan said about what Jeff Johns suggested to him about keeping Black Manta in the movie, about, they adding extra jokes in the movie, it just told me, James Wan still pulled it off. And then we had the Snyder Cut supporters supporting him, not me, but he got it off. But I'm going to tell you this, it ain't going to happen forever. Okay? David Sandberg, great director. Fantastic director. Funny, edgy. All right. When you look at Patty Jenkins, is an excellent director. Excellent director. Wonder Woman should be an excellent movie, I hope. Okay? Patty Jenkins don't put her name on nothing that's half done, half baked. And I'm hoping that her Wonder Woman movie turns out to be excellent. Okay? I have nothing to say about that movie. I'm hoping for the best. But I'm going to say this. Warner Brothers, you have a certain window in which you go and you just ignore everybody and you're just gonna go into the Wonder Woman movie off of that fucking piece of shit called Justice League, and I'm saying it 10 times. All right? But compared to what Zack has, it's shit. Okay? And so you better go, because Wonder Woman was treated very bad in Justice League. Very bad. And if you think she was put as a, Joss Whedon he completely trashed the correct. And he seemed to be happy trashing it. Okay? So I'm hoping that before Wonder Woman comes out, y'all will put out Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'm gonna tell you why. Because it will boost Wonder Woman big time. Whatever Patty Jenkins has will now have a certain, you can look at the previous Justice League, or you're gonna look at this Justice League and the connotation behind Wonder Woman. Because the Wonder Woman that Patty Jenkins is gonna produce after that, no matter what, will be seen in a certain light. Especially as she's building up to that light. So I think it's in Warner Brothers' best interest to put out Justice League. And it's going to shine light on Aquaman. It's going to shine light on everybody, no matter what version of Aquaman James Wan came with. No matter what version of Patty Jenkins is going to get, it's going to color a certain light to them. So even if the movies are funny or whatever they are, the characters that we saw in Justice League, Zack, this was before the corrective evolved. So you have to be able to understand this, because one of the things Patty Jenkins did not like is how irreverent Joss Whedon was with Wonder Woman. Okay. Anyways, people, this is a live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said before, you can comment, share, subscribe, and like if you like the video. And of course, you can donate to my channel via Western Union or MoneyGram. I'm Christ I Am Disciple. Sorry about the cursing and swearing again.